How about that new truck? Well, huh? How about that new Cybertruck?
It's something.
You feeling cyber?
Feeling something.
I'm going to tell you something. I got home from hockey last night, all right? And I just popped open to social media because the event was a night event, as it would be if you're Tesla. When you're Elon, it's dark, it's sci-fi. Mm-hmm. And so I popped open to social media, as you would, when I got home from hockey. And I saw the pictures, and I didn't believe my eyes. It was a double take. I scrolled, and I scrolled again. I kept scrolling. I didn't know. I kept scrolling.
Yeah.
I didn't know. And it's because we've been talking about this thing for a while, and we've seen these outlandish renders, and we saw all these interpretations of the original leak, which showed the light bar on the front. And I sat here, Will, and I told you, I can't look like that. Some of those renders. I can't look like that, Will.
Yeah.
You know? I don't remember what the renders were, but there were so many different ones we talked about.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it looks like that. The thing is, it's a real thing you can buy, and it looks like that. Now, for the record, I can imagine people watching this that thinking, wait, he sounded real negative. I'm not negative. For the record, I'm not being negative right now. I appreciate just doing stuff. He could have done anything. It could have looked like every other truck, for sure it could have. It wouldn't be... Life can be fun, Will.
Yeah, you got to have a little fun sometimes.
I talk about products and stuff and predictable things. Predictable products is much more common than the unpredictable ones. Mm-hmm. And as much as I sat there and I looked at it and I said, no way, who drives this? Where do they drive it?
That's your gut reaction.
My gut reaction is, I just can't. I immediately started seeing this thing in gridlock traffic on the DVP and started thinking, man, that's going to look so goofy in gridlock traffic. Yeah. Because, of course, when you see it like this, it looks amazing. Like the picture you're showing right now.
Yeah, the one-off.
In the room.
Yeah.
It's what planet is it on? I want it.
Blade Runner.
It's in the desert. I want it. You're in all these different environments by itself. I want it. It's when you have to stack it up with all the other cars on the road and put it in the city.
Real life. And
put it at a red light. Something happens to your interpretation where you want to appreciate the ambitiousness. You want to take part in the future. But if your future butts up against somebody else's boringness, it screws up your future. Anyway, yeah, I was talking to Kirk earlier. You do have to kind of detach your logical self a little bit to truly appreciate what's happening here. I have a truck. I own a truck, Will, and I appreciate the utility of it. It's not the coolest looking thing in the world, but that's also what's good about it, is it's a truck, and it does not trying to be anything. And I was saying to Kirk, this crazy futuristic design, to me at least, would have made a little bit more sense on the Roadster, where it can be this super ambitious, aspirational thing like race cars have been in the past. Mm-hmm. It's kind of strange that their most futuristic thing they've ever approached happened on what also is typically the most utilitarian and the least showpiecey, which is the truck, the work truck. Now, I'll still tell you, I'm not complaining. I like trucks. This thing, that looks like so much fun driving that thing around. But it might be so crazy and outlandish that you're just going to get so much attention as well.
Yeah.
Which some guys, they get the trucks and they put the big wheels and the big tires.
They want to make a statement.
And maybe they change the grill and they put a big push bar on the front. Some guys, but then there's also a lot of understated trucks out there that they just sort of blend in. So this is gonna require a buyer who's cool with making that statement as well. Mm-hmm. Couple of other things I noticed about it. I like to access the bed of my truck sometimes from the side. That ain't gonna happen here by the looks of it because of the way that it's angled. I do like the fact that the angular nature of it is not strictly for show, because there are, of course, some efficiency benefits, particularly for an electric vehicle, when they went on to say, hey, this thing can do potentially 500 miles at the top end spec on a single charge, which I think everybody's very excited about that, 500 plus miles. Plus, you go to that tri-motor model, and you're talking about sub 2.9 seconds, 0 to 60, which in a big vehicle is going to be wild. Mm-hmm. Plus a towing capacity, 14,000 pounds. So the specs, they stack up. I'm saying, man, the bed, which they're calling a vault, kind of cool, is 6.5 feet. Mine is about 5.5 right now on my truck. I have the bigger cab with the 4 doors, but then it kind of eats up your bed space a little bit. This is going to be a big vehicle. That's another thing for Tesla people who have never driven a truck before. Just realize my truck is already big. This is going to be bigger. Parking, things like this. It's just different to own a truck than a car for that reason right there. But my goodness, you know what? Go for it. You know what? Go for it. Because the thing about it is, we're all on the clock right now. You know what I'm saying? The countdown is happening. And you can have a bit of fun and drive around some sci-fi video game type thing. Like, if that vehicle pops up in Grand Theft Auto, go for it. Same thing goes for real life. If it can bring you a bit of joy, you hop in there, you get ready for the day in your Cybertruck. Let's do it, man. Have some fun. We have to kind of reward these types of moves that are hard to make. You know how many people told him you can't? You know how many people along the way, you can't do that? Either directly or indirectly, you can't do that. Mm-hmm. I saw, because he even had his own apprehension. He came on Twitter, Elon Musk, came on Twitter and said, some people are not going to like this. That to me shows that he knows it's not going to be to everyone's taste. He's considered that. Some weird stuff here. $150 to order it. 150 Canadian, I think 100 US. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 150 Canadian, 100 US. Why? Why $100 to order a truck seems very strange. I guess you want to get as many people down to buy one as possible. The price surprised a lot of people as well, starting at $39,900. It's kind of shocking for something that looks that cool. It's got a Lamborghini-esque thing going on with the angular aspect. Of course, it's even more crude than that. We've seen all the low poly jokes, memes. This thing is a meme machine. It's a meme machine. And part of me thinks Elon kind of likes some of that aspect of it too, that you have to talk about this thing.
Yeah.
But I'm just surprised that this crazy futuristic design showed up in the form of their truck and not one of their other vehicles. Because let's be honest, this does not fit in with the product line.
No.
At all. The Model S, 3, Roadster, and Y all interact from a design language perspective. That you click between them and it makes sense to you. S, 3, Y, X. And then you click on Cybertruck and you have exited planet Earth. And you now own a moon rover. And so what? I want to have one too.
Are you going to get one?
Yeah, of course, yeah. But the thing is, it's, they're saying 2022 for the cool model. And then, it's going to be hard to make. So it could be 2023. I can't think that far in advance. Well, I don't know what I'm doing. I might be on that sailboat we talked about.
Sailing away.
Yeah, I don't know. Looking for Planet Cybertruck in my sailboat, trying to find some weird island full of Cybertrucks. Now, it's important to note there are other manufacturers, there are other upstart automakers that are taking aim at the truck segment as well. Truck segment is big. The top-selling vehicle in the United States, Ford F-150. Trucks are used for everything. And yes, if you want to play in an automotive space in a major way, you're going to have a truck in North America. So you have upstarts like Rivian. And if you check out their product, it's a lot more typical truck form factor. And it'll be interesting to see how the consumer responds. This one, presumably going to be available sooner than, and it obviously looks a bit more friendly. Let's be honest. The Cybertruck doesn't care about other trucks or you
it has no feelings.
Anything. It has no feelings.
Yeah.
The Cybertruck is not smiling. The Cybertruck just has work to do.
It's gonna run you over.
Yeah, the Cybertruck just is getting where it's going. But that's what's cool about it, man. Some other tidbits. The Cybertruck has this stainless steel finish, unpainted finish. I saw people on Twitter. I saw Detroit Borg on Twitter talking about how that's going to be a nightmare to keep looking uniform because, as you know, you get all the smudges and all that. But maybe you embrace that if you're Cybertruck. You embrace all that stuff. I don't know. They slammed it with the sledgehammer. It looked robust. And if you want to use a hardened steel like that, maybe your design is then informed by what that material is capable of. This might be how you end up with this incredibly angular thing because only certain lines might be available to you.
Yeah.
You saw the meme, this is the truck I drew when I was 6. Everybody drew a truck that kind of looked like that.
It's like a triangle, really.
When only certain lines are available to you, you're kind of stuck within certain parameters.
Yeah.
And so by going with this particular material, maybe this is, you end up in this design path here. And if you went with something that had a more traditional bed, it's important to note that the bed of a pickup, the drop-off at the back window, has a tremendous impact on drag. It sort of sucks air in there into the bed region. And so then they're consuming more energy. And in the case of a gas vehicle, that's less of an issue than in the case of an electric vehicle. So again, you have to see with products like the Rivian that embrace the typical truck form factor, how much of a range hit takes place in a real world setting, considering you keep the bed looking like the bed. But what do you think about that Rivian vehicle? It's pretty good looking, right, Will?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really typical. Looks like a Ford F-150.
So you can get that and kind of blend. You don't have to make as big of a statement as if you roll up in the Cybertruck. You're asking everyone to look at Cyber You. That's my Cybertruck, and this is Cyber Lew. Yeah. And stop what you're doing. Everyone around, stop what you're doing. Embrace our cyberness. And that's just the reality of 2019. Taking nothing away from the design, you can't change the fact that you roll up in that. You're having a whole conversation. You're not quietly entering the back row of the auditorium.
No.
That happens to be the highway. Everybody's looking, but that might be what you want too. And maybe, Will, to make the case to put a big stamp on the electrification of the automotive industry, maybe that's just what's needed. To just make a huge statement and to have that thing out on the road almost as a billboard for electrification. Because the Model S doesn't really do that. It looks like every other car.
You have to push boundaries when it comes to aesthetics.
Maybe you do.
Because they all look the same now. Really.
Maybe you could make the argument, Will, that the S and the 3 haven't gone far enough as far as word of mouth, kind of like in the street. Wow, what is that? In the mass market way. Of course, here on the internet, guys like us, you know, you can hear about Model S, Model 3, Model Y all day. But I'm just saying, for the average person, there's not a single person that isn't going to turn their head at that Cybertruck and say, what was that?
Yes.
And then immediately learn about Tesla, learn about electric vehicles, learn about the whole picture.
So this was necessary.
It could be a sacrificial kind of move where you just have this vision that even if you take all this heat and you don't move the volume you had hoped because of the utilitarian component and the fact that it's just not going to map for everyone, you look at it as a marketing play where you say, we're not going to move as many units, but we're going to
instill the brand to potential consumers
or
customers.
Willie do. You take the hit. You subsidize.
Yeah.
You subsidize the cost of this project to be your marketing platform for the entire brand.
Yeah.
The Cybertruck, you don't need to see that many to immediately start Googling what just happened to me. What did I just see in the street? Now, the unfortunate part is going to take so long. That's the unfortunate part.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be fun to see this thing rolling around. In the presentation, I should also mention it was an important moment. They go to smash the glass breaks, and then Elon's mood goes down. A lot of people were upset about that. It's supposed to be this smash-proof glass, and then it smashes, as seems to always happen in these types of demos, when it's this real big moment, and then it doesn't go according to plan. Two things stand out to me here, and it's not, obviously, it's not ideal, but you kind of almost appreciate the fact that they were freestyling.
Yes. Yeah.
The fact that they went out there without rehearsing this, which they must have done in order for this to go the way that it went, it kind of means they're having fun.
Yeah.
And they're gonna go back to the drawing board and fix it up, and I'm sure they'll figure out a way to get the results that they want. But to step up there in front of all this press, in front of however many people are gonna stream this, and do an untested metal ball through the window, it's just not your typical corporate environment.
Right.
And there's something kind of fresh about that, even though he has to do the rest of the presentation in front of a smashed vehicle. I was thinking if it within the freestyle, and it's easy to say this in retrospect, within the freestyle, if he just hops in the vehicle and spins it around real quick to the other side.
Just give me a second here.
Let me show off totally transparent. All right, this smashed glass, I got to work on that. Let me spin this around real quick. Yeah. Just in the moment. Everybody be, woo! People love the transparency. They love to be involved.
Yeah.
And he brings a certain amount of that. So I just want to say congrats to Elon for going after it, man. And you have to understand, I'm not like a Tesla super fan or anything. I just like the idea of pushing boundaries. I like the idea of imagination come to life in the form of physical products, not in the form of just a concept, not in the form of just a drawing, but an actual tangible thing that humans are going to be able to buy and drive. It's going to be in the world. It's going to be a little dot in within history, and it could possibly go on to influence other vehicles and maybe even create some new normal.
Yes.
At some point. And I think it's the case with a lot of things that are disruptive, that the moment you see them, you don't know how to receive it. Your initial reaction is, my God. Mm-hmm. But I've seen the reaction on Twitter and my own already adapt and evolve. I'm looking at it differently than when I first saw it already. And we're going to, as we continue to become comfortable with the look of it, comfortable with the idea of it, we're going to change our perceptions. Mm-hmm. It's going to take some time, but it's wild.
Yeah, sometimes you need like a kick to the system to wake you
up. A little reboot.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what this is. Maybe this is a little restart button for the automotive sector. I don't think F-150s are going to start looking like this. And I don't necessarily think that they should. But as far as a wider reset of just, hey, we don't have to think within these strict parameters, these strict boundaries. Maybe this could inspire other designers to push a little more in different directions. Because there have been eras where that's been the case, Will. There's been eras within automotive where people have done some crazy things for the time. We've just been kind of stuck in a pretty similar state for a while now. Mm-hmm. And listen, I understand it's not going to be for everyone. That's the way aesthetics work, right? It's not going to be for everyone. Even for me, I'm not saying I'm fully on board with the look. The look is taking me time. So that's fine. I'm just talking strictly about approaching something that you know is going to be risky. And there's definitely, you can't say there's anything like this in a game right now.
No.
You can't say that. Now, I should also mention, so congrats to Elon and Tesla. Go for it. Although I couldn't get to the event. I want to drive the thing as soon as possible.
Yeah.